What's going on, everybody? Have you ever had a champagne brunch? Then you might want to play Slaanesh Demons in Warhammer 40K. Today, we're talking about Seekers of Slaanesh, my absolute favorite unit in the whole army. I definitely think you go all in on this unit, or at least take one unit of 20 because of its battlefield role. Now, these come in at 15 points a pop, so a 20-man unit is going to cost you about 325 points with the upgraded banner and musician. Although, the hefty price tag is there because they are very, very fast. They are one of the few units in the game that can charge on turn 1. They have all the right keywords to get all the best buffs and stacking stratagems and abilities that this army has to offer, and they're your fastest unit, so definitely consider them, and I would rank them very highly on your list. Flaws would be they're still toughness 3. They do have 2 wounds, but they're only toughness 3, so if your opponent knows they're coming, they might really focus on them for turn 1 and try to annihilate them. I'm going to be painting, well, currently I am painting 40 of these, so I'll be test running them out quite a bit when I get those done, but it takes time to paint that many models, especially cavalry. So let's go into the stats. Movement 14, weapon skill 3, strength 3, toughness 3, 2 wounds, 2 attacks, leadership 7, 5 up in bone save, 6 up armor save. You got the same demonette claw, so it's AP 1, and on a 6 up to wound is AP 4. Then the steed gets to lick things with its lashing tongue. After a model riding a steed makes its close combat attacks, the mount can make 2 additional strength 4 attacks. The 2 attacks are strength 4, no AP, 1 damage, no special rules, and they're not buffed by the auras as far as +1 strength from the herald, but the rider would be strength 4 near a herald, so that is powerful. They have Quicksilver Swiftness, so they always strike first in combat, and they can run and charge, which is the most important thing. The Demonic Icon, if you roll a 1 when you're taking morale, you get D3 models back into your unit instead of any running away. So actually, if you're... The way these are, they're on about a 2-inch oval base. If you had half the unit killed the first turn, and then got D3 back and got 3 back, you could daisy chain them forward for your turn 1 and be about 9 inches closer to the enemy, which is insane. If that happens and your opponent leaves any standing and you roll a 1, but we're just brainstorming here. They re-roll failed charges, which is awesome. That's a strong ability in 8th edition because being able to re-roll your failed charge means you can pick up both dice and re-roll them. Or if you say get a 6 and a 1, you could use a command point re-roll and just pick up the 1 and re-roll that and hopefully, fish for another 6 or whatever. So, but if you rolled Snake Eyes, you could re-roll them both. So it's a big deal. It's a super good ability. Makes them a little more reliable if you want to deep strike them, but I think you really try to get these in turn 1. They have the Instrument of Chaos, and that's going to give you +1 to advance and charge, and they run and charge. So basically, you are a movement 16 plus 3 die 6. Assuming the average of 3 die 6 is around 10, you're an average of 26 inches before you reroll any dice. You could reroll your run roll if you had to. You can reroll your charge. You could reroll 1 dice on the charge. Very fast. Even if your opponent sets up all the way back, you still might be able to catch them because assuming they have plenty of models, they're not on the back line of their board edge, right? So this unit is awesome. Now let's get into, we'll go over here to the GW website. You're looking at $29 for 5. Because this unit comes in the Wrath and Rapture box set, it gets pieced out, and it comes in the Start Collecting, so great ways to pick up some, but it also goes for pretty cheap on eBay. Link in the descriptions below. You can get it for about 17, 18 bucks, maybe 19 bucks for 5, which is pretty sweet. So this is going to be a sad demonstration, but if you bear with me, if you look at this demonstration here. This is in Microsoft Paint. I know it's very, very cool. A picture of this on the left here is your deployment zone. On the right here is your opponent's deployment zone. And let's go ahead and give them some units here. There we go. So that's your opponent's deployment zone. Now, if you, these are your Seekers of Slaanesh. You could put, out of the 20, 17 of them in combat. And with 3 of them, this is what I mean by daisy chain. So in between here is a 2-inch gap. So I'll just pick a color here. So this pink circle is your unit in combat, or all your units in combat. And then backwards 2 inches, right here, 2 inches. That is a gap for this Seeker. This is about a 2-inch base. Then you got another 2 inches there. And then you got another 2 inches there. And then from here, this last guy, you're looking at basically this model just has to be within 6 inches of any of those 6-inch auras we've already talked about. And all of these models right here are getting those buffs. So you lose 3 models and gain about 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18. So about 18 inches back from your units, you could be getting buffs for the entire unit. So those 6-inch auras, although they seem small, this is very easy to accomplish, especially on the large oval size base of the Demonette. So when I say daisy chain, and as a demon player and a Slaanesh demon player, you're going to want a daisy chain. You need these models basically to form a little tail on your unit. So even if so basically first turn when they make it, when all your heroes end up more or less in the center of the board, they're going to be, right there. All your heroes end up about the center of the board who can't first turn charge, but their 6-inch auras are still going to buff your units in combat. And you can do this with every unit that makes it. You can just keep putting more daisy chains back. We're going to call them daisy chains. It's like putting a little tail on your unit with models. And because of the 2-inch unit coherency and at least a 2-inch oval base, you can get an incredible amount of distance backwards and get in all those auras. -1 to hit, or a -1 attack, reroll 1s to hit, +1 strength, everything, right? So this is the tactic with the Slaanesh Seekers. This is also the tactic if you roll really well on your Demonettes, because you're going to want to leave a chain back so they can get buffed. You definitely want that +1 strength on them. And then about turn 2, all your units, your heroes are fast enough that they'll probably be up there and you don't have to worry about it. But if you're going for some turn 1 charging, this is how you're going to want to do it and ensure that you are fully buffed up and ready to fight and cause as much chaos as you can turn 1. Hopefully you're enjoying these videos. If not, then please subscribe anyway. But if you are, definitely subscribe. We'll be talking about a lot of Slaanesh this month. But I got Admech armies, I got Thousand Suns, I got Tyranids, I got Eldar. I got a lot of armies I'm going to have to be working on soon. So we got a lot of videos coming in the future. And also, we're going to be doing a lot of painting videos in the future. So if you're into painting miniatures, then definitely stick around and hopefully you like what you see. Talk to you soon.